like to thank the Derry High School Band. And anybody that did anything toward the event. Thank you much. Our speaker today is Master Sergeant Angie Bird. She will be doing the speech for Earl FillMore, Jr.
So I have 5 minutes of a speech because I know some people are starving. So thank you again for everybody for putting this event on and stopping in our little hometown of Derry. It means so much to my family and to our friends. Earl FillMore Jr. was born in Latrobe in June of 1965. He was the youngest of 7 children and the only boy out of those 7 to Earl and Shirley FillMore of Derry. In fact, where we started the walk today on Chestnut Street is his house that he grew up in, which, and you guys didn't even know that. That's incredible. He grew up 2 blocks just from here, and you know, on these very streets is where he played, and right across the street, catty-cornered from here, is where my grandparents owned the FillMore Market. And that's where, you know, he ran in and out of every day as a youth. My mom and aunts will say that as a child, he would tell stories about his adventures in the Army when he used to be big. And that sounds funny, but it's as if he was always seeing his future self. He knew who he was, and he knew what he wanted to do. When Earl joined the Army at 17 years old, he followed in the paths of many men in his life, to include his grandfather, his father, a couple of uncles of ours who served in the military. He himself was then followed by 5 nieces and nephews, to include myself, who all chose to follow in his footsteps. He was 10 years older than me. He was my own personal hero, and I knew he loved his job as a soldier. He would tell me about it in the letters that he would write to me from wherever he was in the world. He would take the time out of his busy life to write letters to a 10, 11, 12-year-old little girl back here in Derry. He was only 18 when he left for basic training, following his 1983 high school graduation from Derry, and then he became an Army combat medic in hopes that one day he would be able to use his medical background to become a veterinarian, because he loved animals. And at only 24, he became the youngest soldier in history to be chosen for Delta Force, an elite special mission unit tasked primarily with specialized missions involving hostage rescue, counterterrorism, and special reconnaissance missions against high-value targets. He was a veteran of Operation Just Cause in Panama and Operation Desert Shield in Saudi Arabia. He was involved in many secret operations that our family did not even know about. But it was in Mogadishu, Somalia, that Earl was responding to help his teammates trapped inside a downed helicopter when he was fatally wounded. My uncle, Earl Robert FillMore Jr., was killed in action during this battle on October 3rd, 1993. He was only 28. He will always be remembered as a son, a brother, an uncle, a friend, and a dutiful soldier who died trying to help other soldiers in need. For this action, Sergeant FillMore was awarded the Purple Heart and the Silver Star for Valor. And during his career, he also received a Bronze Star, a Meritorious Service Medal, a Combat Master Parachutist Badge, Combat Infantryman Badge, Joint Service Accommodation Medal, Halo Badge, Special Forces, and Ranger Tabs. And for those of you in the room familiar with these terms, you know exactly how impressive that is. Most Special Forces soldiers look rather grim in their official photographs, but when you get a second, I want you to look at the pictures in that back room, because Grim was not my uncle. That was not that guy. He always had a sly, jovial smile, like there was always a rabbit under his hat. There was always a trick up his sleeve. And he had a quirky wit about him that instantaneously drew people in. He was liked, and he was loved. There is a story about the time he mounted a pair of warthog tusks onto his helmet and paraded around the compound in Somalia, half naked. Which one would find hard to believe could happen in a battle zone until my family actually saw the pictures inside the Special Operations Command in Fort Bragg, proudly displayed for everybody to see. So the stories are true. But when it came to his job, there was no one more professional than my uncle. He was brave and he was fearless. His friend Don Veras, who he met in medic training, once said, "I feel Earl exemplified America's best. The Green Beret, the Delta Force, he was a true warrior. He could be a clown, but when it came to combat, he was a dedicated professional, and he was just a really good guy." Earl FillMore was successful in every mission during training or in combat, and he was in every sense a walking testament to a professional soldier. Earl would accept nothing less than a teammate's best effort, and in return, Earl gave his best effort every time. It was this selfless service that carried Earl to the streets of Mogadishu, Somalia, in October of '93. My mother, Earl's oldest sister, Brenda, right here up front, said she met a soldier who fought with Earl who told her, it was because of your brother that we were able to come home. And it is this soldier and the thousands like him who make the choice to serve, to become a part of something so much bigger than themselves, to serve as an inspiration, as a commitment for the soldiers of this great nation who want to make a difference. Earl made that difference. Thank you for making the stop on your journey here in Derry, and for recognizing those heroes who made the ultimate sacrifice, and for supporting those who continually and proudly serve.